in this video, we're going to talk about how we thought we were spending time together, but we weren't connecting. We have been married for almost 35 years, and we have gone through seasons, and we've gone through times, and we've gone through ups and downs, and times where we're really close, times it's not so much as close as we wanted to be, but we have learned to be intentional with our time, so we're always going in a direction where we're growing closer. So if you were in our home and we were talking to you across the table from you, we would talk to you like this. When we had younger children, and when we had an opportunity to go out, remember those days, Teresa? We had an opportunity to go out with the young kids, and you got to pick the places where either you brought the food for your kids with you, or they had to have chicken tenders right at the place.
Right. Finger food.
Cheese, pizza, or chicken tenders, right? And so usually it's not the most healthy places to get these things. No. But you choose those type of places, and you go in, and if there's a line, you have to sit with your kids, in the seats waiting for your table, and then once you got to the table, and then hopefully they had a coloring paper. Hopefully they had crayons.
Those are gold.
Crayons and a coloring paper. So, we were out together, right, Teresa? And we were spending time together. But a lot of it was focused on the kids, right?
Right. What we would talk about was, does this have their snack? Does that one have some crayons? Are we sitting in the right seats? Do we have a high chair for the littlest one? And, and if they start, getting distracted, we have to settle them back down before the food comes and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's a lot of managing the children and making sure all their needs are met. So we weren't talking about our, interests or our concerns or anything. It was all child focused.
We were spending time together, but we weren't connecting, right?
Right.
So, and because you know how kids are, you've been to restaurants. Once the kids get finished, they're finished. They're ready to go. They don't want to sit there and talk. They don't care about you sitting there and talk. They want to go. So you spend a lot of time entertaining the children, and those are good time. Time we spent with the children, of course, that's good time, but it wasn't connecting time. Right. And it wasn't a substitute for Teresa and I connecting. It was time spent outside the house. It gave Teresa a break. Teresa homeschooled the kids for 25 years, so she was with the kids a lot. So, but it gave her a break, got her out of the house, but it really wasn't. It wasn't giving her what she needed. A wife needs open and honest communication, right? So that really wasn't giving you what you needed. Right.
Like you said, my world was already all about the kids before we'd go out somewhere. So it was still all about the kids, and we'd go out. And like I said, we treasured those times because they're only little for so long. You only have them in your home for so many years, and then they're grown and gone. But it's not a substitute for one-on-one communication between husband and wife.
Right. And I also remember, Teresa, there were times in our lives where you can let good things push out great things, as one way of putting it, where you may be involved in ministry, or you may serve in your church, and which is a great ministry. Ministry helps is one of the chief things you can
that's
do.
what we do all the time.
It is a backbone of the church, and no matter what we do as quote our ministry, we've always served in our church. The churches that we have been called to, we've always served somewhere in the ministry of helps in that church.
Yes.
And so, because that is needful for us, for our discipline, to do that and show as an example to our children. But you can let too much crowd out good things, right, Teresa?
I'm thinking back to when the kids were, like early school age, and we were already serving in the worship ministry at the church where we were, and Jeff was helping to renovate the church because it was a building that was being changed into something better to really suit a church being there. So we had nights where we were there at worship practice. He had many nights where he was there helping to renovate, and it's kind of like, when do we really see each other without all this other stuff going on? That was kind of a strange time. I didn't mind, even though it kind of went on for some weeks and weeks. It was like, wow, I hardly see Jeff. So that,
it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, and they needed him to help. But, your marriage can get set on the back burner, but you got to make sure it doesn't stay there when something is happening in life like that. We've got so many things going on, so many people that you're helping, or like you said, serving. We've learned it's really best to focus in one area of serving in your church. I know pastors need people, and sometimes there's just not enough people to help in all the different areas. But if you want to be able to invest in your marriage other than spending time with your kids and doing things at church, it's really great to pick one area to serve in, because if not, you could be at church 4 or 5 days a week. And when is your time for your marriage? It's like we said, date night gets canceled. Time to talk to each other, you just don't have it, or you're just too tired at the end of every day.
Right. I kind of remember the time, Teresa. Remember when we got engaged? I don't know if you remember this or not. Maybe this will. We haven't talked about this in like 35 years.
Right.
I was involved 3 nights a week in prison ministry.
Yes.
And none of the prisons were close. One was an hour away, one was 45 minutes away, another one was 30 minutes away, each way, and coming back. So, and you had a concern about, as we entered into our engagement period, that I would not be able to give you the attention that you needed, or not be able to have time for our marriage that I needed. Can you remember that?
That was just the Lord, because, I'd never been married, so I didn't know what it was like to be married. But it's just wisdom from God. Sometimes he gives women like this long distance radar to see ahead, like this is not going to be okay down the road. That's the only way I can say that I knew to mention that to Jeff, because going from single life to being married, you really are going to have to change your priorities. And like he said, doing ministry 3 nights a week, where it was taking him on the road and long trips there, spending time with the men, and then coming back, that would have been like no time at all during the week for our marriage.
Yeah, so that was wisdom. So sometimes you have to say no to something good in order to concentrate on your marriage.
Right.
And I remember a time, Teresa, where during a transition phase, where we were transitioning to a new job. I accepted we were living in Middle Georgia, and we had accepted a job up near Atlanta, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Pretty much 2 hours.
And I couldn't come home every night. That's 5 hours commuting every day. So I would stay up there during the week, and we're getting our house ready to sell at the same time. So.
And I'm homeschooling.
And she's homeschooling and trying to get the house ready to sell. And she's homeschooling. And so I would either leave late Sunday night, work during the week, come home on Friday evening and get home Friday night. And so then we have Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, then Sunday night I would leave. And so that's tough on a marriage. And so
it's separated.
It's really hard to connect over the phone. We would call each other.
Yeah, right.
But it's really hard to make that connection over the phone during the week, because thankfully they did. Well, how long was that?
5 months, I think.
Really, that 5 months, really?
That's what stuck in my memory. That was 5 months.
Wow, 5 months. So that's really too long. So that's the strain on the marriage. So I remember that, how, I'm come home and it's like we have to make an effort to connect.
Right.
Because I'm thinking about her all week, and I'm coming home and she's like, I've had the kids all week. I'm trying to get the house ready for sale. I need some relief. I need some connection.
Exactly.
So it's just like we're starting off square one every weekend.
Yes,
and
yes,
so
that's
it's
a
tough.
good way to say it.
So
yeah.
So in our case, we had to make whatever we need to do on that weekend to reconnect, and we got through it.
We got through it.
We got through it.
Sometimes I would drive up to see him. We could meet at a restaurant and have dinner, and then the kids and I would have to drive back home. But it was still worth it to try to see each other, try to be together, and not let that distance just completely make us like strangers.
Right.
We didn't want that.
So we want to give you an awareness challenge. So for the next 24 hours, don't change anything, but just notice where your attention goes. Notice when you connect. We just really connected right then. Notice when you connect. Notice when you're distracted.
Oh, yes.
Notice when you're distracted by anything. Notice when you're distracted. Notice what gets postponed. What are you postponing? Notice that.
Yes.
Notice what gets your best energy. Just take a note. Don't make any adjustments. Just take a note.
You might want to write these down.
And then in the evening, so this is a challenge for both of you. Both of you to take notice what's going on. Then in the evening, say, what did you notice about us today? And just be honest. And it's just a point of becoming aware of what's going on with your time. So at the end of the day, so for 24 hours, just notice what's going on. Just notice. Take note. Notice what's going on. Then at the end of the day, ask each other, what did you notice about us today? And that's your assignment, right, Teresa?
Yes. That's a good one. It's really good.
So if you want to know more about this, check out this video, and we'll see you over there. And remember, God designed husband and wife to be friends for life.